Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Soul Illumination Reading for the sign of Scorpio. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. And that's exactly what we're looking at in your reading today, Scorpio. We're looking at what your soul most wants you to know right now. Specifically, we're looking at a block or a challenge you might be facing, advice from your soul, from spirit, as to how to overcome that so you can allow for an area of abundance or spiritual growth to come in for you that we're also going to look at. So we're going to jump right in here. Now, please keep in mind these messages are general, so only take what resonates, as well as sometimes I've noticed in these readings that the theme may not apply to something that you are dealing with specifically, but could be bringing up a past theme or a past experience that you can learn from in this moment or find something new in that experience that, again, your soul is hoping that you'll bring forward. So we'll take a look at that. So open yourself up to that. All right. So right now we're looking at what you are sitting with, Scorpio. And wow, that is some heavy hitting energy. Very, very beautiful energy, actually. We have the sun and the star and the moon. These are three major arcana cards all together coming up for you guys. Now, the sun is a card of illumination. This is the illumination of yourself, of the innermost. If you can see here, this is the pure version of yourself. It's the naked inner child who just wants to be free, basking in the light of day. This can also be a card of clarity, where it's almost like the lights have come on and you can see finally. Now with the star represents hope. This is what it is, the guiding principle within our life, our North Star, as you could describe it, that gives us hope as we move through our life experience. It's that dream in our heart that we would love to experience. It's the guiding principles we want to bring more of into our life. And then we have the moon, and the moon is a card of actually the opposite when you think of it in relationship to the sun. This is the kind of part of our life that instead is not illuminated, it is what's in shadow. It can also be where we're being asked to walk a path on faith because we can't see clearly. Now, to have these three cards come up together, it really shows to me that you are balancing both self-awareness with what is hidden, which is incredible. This is really being able to bring together what is conscious, what is subconscious, and illuminating for yourself the star. Now, for some of you, there might have been a time recently where you maybe had not been in connection with the star. We can at any point in our life lose connection to that. We can lose connection to hope. We can lose connection to that guiding dream that we want for ourselves. We can actually talk ourselves out of wanting to experience what our soul yearns for. And yet here I feel that many of you are connecting very deeply to that. And it is through this integration of both getting, I think, back in touch with this innermost part of yourself, this part that wants to feel free, the part that, again, wants to be just out in the light of day as the most innocent, vulnerable part of yourself. But then there's this sense with the moon of also getting very close and very much maybe in a place of acceptance as to what's also hidden in your life. Maybe subconscious programming. It could be fears that you live with. It could be even the kind of darker side to our personality and realizing we need both sides to ourselves. There might be finding, the benefit of looking at your strengths while also looking at the benefit of your weaknesses. And somewhere in between that is the dream that's coming back to life. Now, in your external environment, we have the Five of Pentacles, and this is what your soul is illuminating for you here, is the Five of Pentacles. This is a card of where we feel like we are left out in the cold. It's a card where we feel a lack in some aspect of our physical experience, whether it is financially, whether it is actually, feeling like we're left out in the cold. We don't actually have a roof over our heads, but there's a sense of having to kind of be alone, be the outsider, or to lack in some aspect of your experience. Now, your underlying energy here, we have Judgment, which is underlaid here by the Two of Swords And a card that is specific to this version of the Rider-Waite Tarot Smith deck that I use, which this card to me represents a very similar energy to the Lover's card in the tarot, but it takes it to a romantic level, or to a very highly vulnerable level between you and another individual. Now, it doesn't have to be a romantic partner. But this does pertain to vulnerability in love. So this could be where you are vulnerable in love with a best friend, with a business partner that you were in business with for 30 years. This could be vulnerability in love with a close family member. But there's a sense here with Judgment that there was an indecision. It was almost, with the Two of Swords, there was kind of a 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Can't see what your relationship is. This could actually be where you were having there's confusion around maybe committing to a romantic relationship. There might have been a question of, do I stay in this relationship? Is this relationship healthy for me? And with Judgment coming in, it says that there has been a judgment call made. It says that there has been a kind of hard and fast ruling from above. Now, Judgment can also speak to where we are having to leave a part of ourselves behind, because we are literally, Judgment, when you look at this, it's being called up from the dead to a new version of yourself, to new life. And that can often mean that this card comes on the heels of where we have either had to go through an ego death, or where we've had to leave a part of our previous self behind, how we had been previously, whether this is how we were in work for so many years and now we're maybe retired or we're out of work. This could be a version of ourselves where we were highly insecure about ourselves for a period of time, and suddenly now we're not insecure in the way that we used to be. But generally, Judgment speaks to when we undergo a transformational change that we can't go back from. These individuals being called up from the dead can't die again and go back to the original life that they were living. So there's a sense here of this kind of, there was a decision made in love that ultimately changed you at the core of who you are, and there was a judgment call made. And that judgment call could be illuminating for you. So this could be where you are deciding to commit to a relationship, or you are deciding to leave a relationship. And in doing so, it is illuminating yourself again. And it is also illuminating the guiding principle here. But it might also leave you realizing where maybe either A, you have always felt like you were kind of outside, and maybe committing to this relationship makes you feel like you are now in something. This could also be where your soul is trying to highlight, possibly, and we'll get additional cards here, or maybe you have been telling yourself a story for a long time where you lack something, where you don't have enough of something, and you might be seeing now that the story might be changing around that. So let's see here. We're going to dive a little deeper. We're going to take a look now at the challenge or the block that you're facing. We're going to be looking at, all right, ooh, the Tower. Yeah, that makes sense. So the Tower can often come in with Judgment as well, because the Tower is that crumbling of the old. And then we have the Two of Pentacles, which is a card kind of juggling. It's another card of decision making, of what do I prioritize? Is it this or that? And it's a sense of just kind of having to get through those smaller day-to-day tasks. So with the Tower coming in, the Tower is your main point of challenge. And this is really, when the Tower comes in, it is actually a gift. And it can come across often, when we think about it, it can come in a way where we don't look at it as a gift at first. Meaning that the Tower comes in when we have waited too long, often, to make a large-scale change in our life that we've known we've needed to make on some intuitive level, meaning we stayed too long at a job that was burning us out, or where we were not getting fairly compensated. And suddenly something happens where you have to leave that job. Or, this could be where you wait and you wait and you wait, and then all of a sudden the job lays you off, and you're kind of sitting there going, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting this. But it's to your betterment. It's where something may seem like it comes in out of left field, and yet it's been a long time coming. Okay, yeah, I see the full picture. Okay, so there's a sense here of either recently you've undergone quite a dramatic change. Now, the tower doesn't always have to be brought down by something negative like losing a job or losing a loved one. The tower can actually come down when we decide to accept this judgment. We decide to step into the new version of ourselves, and we bravely allow the tower that once kind of kept the old version of us safe, we allow it to come down because we know once it comes down, we get to look up into the night sky and see the star that had been hidden from us when we were living in that tower of safety, security, and routine. And so there's a sense here of the tower can come down when we meet the love of our life, and suddenly our defenses come down. That part of ourself where we built that tower around our heart and said, no one is ever going to touch me there again. And suddenly here it comes tumbling down. The commitment can be something that can bring the tower down is when you have a child or you have a dramatic life change within your family, that maybe someone in your experience has a child, and suddenly it opens you up to that aspect of your experience that you can't go back now to not having been a parent. Now you have a child in your life or something along those lines. This can also be where, I'm trying to think of some other happy things, when we think about becoming, let's say you commit to making a decision to get married. And suddenly now, after you two say the I do's and you get the official marriage certificate, well, now you are a married individual. It has changed you on a fundamental level and perhaps allowed a tower of, maybe you were single for quite a long period of time and you had built up a specific lifestyle, told yourself you were happy being single. And then by committing and getting married to someone, you realize, oh my gosh, there's a dream within my heart that I had disconnected myself with. And that's being opened now by committing to a new life with this person. So that's just kind of more of the happier thing. Obviously, we don't have to look at getting married or, having children as, we don't have to have that as our star. But those are examples of the ways that the tower can come in a good way. But it can also come in a kind of jarring way as well. So depending on how this came in for you, there's something here where the tower came down, and I think it really highlighted for you where either A, you were just kind of automatically going through the day-to-day motions, which is what the Two of Pentacles can also speak to, where we're kind of just juggling. We're just going through the day and we're like, okay, I've got so many things to do, and every day I'm just got to get through them and then do it all over again the next day. This can also be too, where I think maybe some of you are realizing where maybe you weren't prioritizing something that you wanted to prioritize. The Two of Pentacles, just like the Two of Swords, can ask us to make a decision. Is it this pentacle or is it this pentacle? And when we're constantly juggling, it's very hard to actually grow anything from those pentacles, which can be seen as seeds, when we are, instead of just putting our dedicated energy towards one and saying, okay, this is the one I choose, we're constantly kind of dividing our resources of time and energy and money towards both. So I think there was a sense here, the tower came down, you saw where maybe you were just kind of spinning your wheels and not actually committing to something or choosing something or prioritizing something. And with the Eight of Cups coming in at the heart of your reading, this is Spirit saying, where your heart is no longer in something. The Eight of Cups asks us to really take a look at our life experience, or where there's something in our life that is no longer emotionally supportive of us. Now, this could be leaving, an unsupportive work environment that we've been in for a long time. This could be leaving an unsupportive relationship behind. This could be actually leaving the memory of a past relationship behind. This can also be leaving behind maybe a perspective or a way of being. So this could be where you realize, oh my gosh, I've been juggling for so long because I've had this poverty mindset that if I don't make this kind of money, or if I don't live this kind of lifestyle, that I will be left out in the cold, or I will not have enough. This could be where sometimes we can come from that perspective of maybe something that's passed down generationally, where we feel like we have to work around the clock because our parents always kind of came from this place of need and want and lack. And so it was instilled in us that you work until the day you die, or if you don't have this kind of money in the bank, then you're not living, or you're not, or there's always the potential that you're going to be without. And so there's a sense here, maybe really looking at what that is in your life experience now that the tower has come down, now that there's been a decision around vulnerability and love, or around a relationship that's been very fundamentally changing to you, to look at now what no longer supports you. And if that does have something directly to do with a mindset that I am always going to be the outsider, I'm always going to be left out in the cold if I choose to follow my star, if I choose to embrace who I am, both the bad and the good, if I choose to show myself vulnerably to others, that I will be the one left out, or I will be the one without. That it's really saying it's time to leave that behind. So whether this is actually speaking to a relationship, current or past, a work environment possibly, or anything that is emotionally unsupportive, which includes, again, a mindset of where, and this is, again, what your soul is highlighting, where do you feel that you are not enough, you don't or will never have enough, or where something that you love or want to bring in will leave you without support. Because on the other side of this, if you can walk away from that, we have the Three of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. This is very fortuitous energy. Three of Pentacles is the energy of building. This is where we make the decision. We go from the 2 to the 3. It's building energy. And it really speaks to, okay, now it's time to make that decision here. What do you want to start investing in? What do you want to start building? What's that long-term vision for what you are actually doing in your experience? And who do you want to build it with? That's another question with the Three of Pentacles that comes in, because this can be a card of collaboration, of working with others who also bring something to the table. This can also be where you're building a family with someone else, where you're building a business with someone else, and everybody has the same long-term vision. But this building is only going to come about when you can leave behind this attachment to an idea, a way of being, or an individual, or an unsupportive work environment that leaves you feeling like this, that leaves you feeling like you are poor in some aspect of your experience. Because with the Wheel of Fortune coming in at the very end, this is where the abundance wants to come in. There could be collaboration. Now, again, collaboration can be collaborating with a romantic partner to build the life of your dreams. Collaboration could come in with maybe going into a new place of work. The Three of Pentacles can also speak sometimes to recognition, where other people are recognizing your gifts and what you bring to the table, and they're asking you to join their team. So this, with the Wheel of Fortune, there's a sense here of fate, destiny coming in, and the wheel turning now in your favor. When the wheel comes in like this really does speak to, okay, the time is now, something new is coming in. And there is a sense here of, again, getting past a limitation, getting past where you felt poor, getting past maybe even just a poverty mindset in general. I will never have enough. I will never be enough. And if you can get past that, there's an opportunity waiting to come in for you here, Scorpio. And it could be through love, very much so. It could be through the support of a close family member that you're getting very, maybe you're kind of entering into a place where you guys are really helping each other out. It could also be where you are maybe making a new intimate friendship, and another individual is saying, hey, would you like to collaborate with me, or do you want to kind of be my friend, so to speak? And suddenly there could be opportunities to build something more from that. But there's an opening here with Judgment, the Tower, and these three major arcanas here, the Sun, the Star, and the Moon. There is a major opening of yourself. It's almost like your soul has become like this gaping hole that is becoming a vortex to really draw towards you something that is looking towards your future. Now, at the bottom of this deck, we had the Three of Swords. These are the wounds of the past. The wounds of the past that somehow then create the feeling of lack, the feeling of, I will never be lucky in love. I will always be the outsider. I will never have a relationship that supports me. I'll never have a work environment that supports me because I've been through too many terrible work environments, or I've been through too many terrible love relationships. And that's the Three of Swords. And it's saying it's time to really face those and to start to really realize, okay, yes, we have the Five of Coins again. Yeah, Five of Pentacles. So I'll finish this in just a second. But the Three of Swords really asks us to see those stories as what they are. They are stories that have come in from the outside. They are all those little voices in your head of people in your life that told you weren't good enough, you weren't lovable, you were never going to achieve something. And to realize these are just the echoes of that. And you can get past those, and you can get past them on an emotional level as well. Now the Tower coming down, Five of Coins and Four of Wands. Four of Wands is very different energy to the Five of Coins. Now, for some of you, this could actually denote there might have been maybe a past relationship that did not work out for you. Four of Wands can sometimes speak to a marriage or something along those lines, where you are entering into, you're building the foundation through something that you're passionate about and that others can openly celebrate with you. But with the Five of Coins coming in, there's that sense of coming into a state of lack or being left out in the cold. And so there could have been, with the Tower coming in, a relationship that left you feeling like you were out in the cold, that literally that was the Tower, that you thought you were building something with someone, and lo and behold, that person leaves you, or you get a divorce, or whatever it is, and something happened around that. Now, this could also be, the Four of Wands can be just building the foundation to anything. It could be building the foundation for a business. It could be building the foundation along, a course of study to level up to a certain place in a field of work or in a career. But there's something here with the Tower where that building that foundation left you facing lack in your life, left you facing feeling like you are the outsider or left out in the cold. And I think for many of you, there was that sense of, I thought I was building something solid. I thought I was building something that was going to last. And the realization was that it didn't. And that's kind of at the heart of where this poverty mindset is. Or is coming from. I mean, and again, this could be, related to work. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be, you thought you had it like that with your boss or the people you worked with. You thought you were building this beautiful foundation for the future. You were vulnerable, you were open, and then suddenly you get fired, or suddenly someone comes in and, says, what, we're going to have to cut your salary down by half, something like that. And it's like, what the heck? So with the Two of Pentacles, we have the Seven of Pentacles and the Two of Swords. So right here, there's a realization coming in of Seven of Coins, Seven of Pentacles asks us to take a look at the state of our experience in the physical, in the present moment, the state of what is, and are we happy with it? Is it worth it for us to continue to invest in what we have presently? So this would be like going through a divorce and kind of being left with picking up the pieces. Maybe you got the house and your spouse got the rest of something, and you're looking at it going, do I even want to stay in this house? Like, what am I going to do with this? And there's a sense here where maybe for a while you were kind of just sitting and spinning your wheels. This would be like, okay, I got blindsided by this relationship ending, or I got blindsided by having to leave my job that I've been in for so long, or whatever it is. And so you kind of just fell into like, okay, well, instead of me dealing with this emotionally, I'm just going to kind of wait, take a look at how things are going in my physical experience. And with the Two of Swords, there was that sense of like, I don't know. Do I want to commit to this? Do I not? What can I do with what I have? And with the two, again, here, Two of Swords, Two of Pentacles coming in together, there was a decision that needed to be made. Where do I commit? Who do I commit to? And this could even be where you're looking at it going, do I have enough? Maybe I do want to do something new now. And do I have enough to do that? Okay, so with the Eight of Cups, Justice coming in. Justice can be the making or breaking of contracts. It can also be where there is a major kind of rebalancing in your life. So for some of you, with Justice and the Three of Cups coming in, There could have been a legal, when we think about making or breaking contracts, this could be like legal documents. There could have been a legal ruling that actually was in your favor with the Three of Cups. And it's allowing you to, this could be where you went through a divorce and it's like, yeah, this was really dramatic and hard, or you went through a really dramatic breakup. But what it's showing to you is the support that you have around you, and it's making you realize like, wow, I should have left that person a long time ago. Wow, that relationship, that Four of Wands really made me feel like I was less than for so long. And this could also be where there's a breaking of a contract. It could be where you were let go from a job, or you left a job and everybody's coming in saying, oh my gosh, congratulations. We thought you would never leave that job. Or you know what? It's a good thing you got let go because you really needed to walk away from that for a long time. Like there's something around that where it's being highlighted through the Justice card, through either the making or breaking of a contract, a legal decision, something along those lines, where there are other people in your life that came in and said, cheers to that, because you needed to walk away from that because it was not emotionally supportive of you. Okay, let's see. Seemed like a card turned over, but I guess it didn't. We'll see if it wants to come out. I feel like I just saw it again. Sorry, guys. There it is, a Hierophant. Ooh, I love it. Hierophant is the high priest in the tarot. It is a card that also speaks to our beliefs and the systems that we choose to follow. Ooh, I like that too. We have the Eight of Wands. Okay. Yeah. So for some of you, Eight of Wands and the Hierophant can really speak to moving quickly towards marriage or a long-term commitment. This could also be moving towards a new commitment, towards what you want to build. So this could be where maybe you left a really dramatic work environment that you felt like you had really been vulnerable in and had opened yourself up to. And now suddenly, with all of it kind of come crashing down, you're like on the fast track towards committing to a new work environment or to a new course of study. But this could also be, if this is really relating to your romantic life, with the decision to commit to this individual or to commit to a new romance after perhaps a very dramatic romantic experience, that this is really showing you that with walking away from that, it is allowing you to kind of fast track right into a new commitment, right into a healthy relationship, or into something that really is in alignment with your belief system, which is beautiful, and that you're building with that person. The Hierophant also brings in the energy of Taurus. So for some of you, there could be, now Taurus is your opposite sign. It's your 1-7 on the Zodiac wheel. So you could have a Taurus in your life. You could be committing to a Taurus in your life in some aspect, or someone who embodies that energy, somebody who really embodies wisdom, that kind of internal knowing of the high priest, or someone who is really down to earth, very stable in the physical environment. Okay, and then let's see what's coming in for the Wheel of Fortune. So for those of you who are just going through, because again, time is not linear. So for those of you who are watching this could be, again, based around something you've dealt with in the past. And it's saying, maybe you're reflecting on where you were at one point and you're seeing how much, all the benefits that came in when you finally walked away from that person. This could also be what you're starting to go through. So for those of you who are maybe going through this dramatic change in your life, it's saying, don't worry, that change, that making or breaking of a contract, that decision you made or the decision that someone made in some aspect of your life experience that changed you for, on a fundamental level, was actually to your benefit and is leading you towards fast movement, towards a new commitment. I always think about the Eight of Wands, especially with this depiction. It's like there is light at the end of the tunnel and you're moving towards it. You may not feel it, but it's there. So let's see. We have, Six of Swords and Seven of Cups. Yep, there's the opportunities coming in. Six of Swords is moving on. It is transcending. It is moving from calmer waters, or from choppy waters to calmer seas. There is a sense of finally in the mental plane of moving past the pain, moving past the limitations. And why I say that this card can have a higher meaning for me specifically, where I look at it as a card of transcendence, is because when we finally get to that point where we realize it's just us that's been limiting our belief in ourselves of what we can achieve. This would be like saying, or having this realization on a mental plane of, I never thought I would be able to have this much money. And yet that was just me saying that because that's all I experienced to a certain part of my life. And now I realize I've just hit that point and I can make as much money as I want. I just always told myself I never would be able to do that. There's a sense of sometimes we convince ourselves where we can't do something, to say like, I can't have a family. I can't have the love of my life. That will never come in. And suddenly we realize, well, yeah, I can. And yeah, I'm very much capable of bringing in that star for myself. And with the Seven of Coins or Seven of Cups, this is a card of opportunity. It's where all of a sudden we open ourselves up to what could fulfill us out there. So we open ourselves up to a world of other people's cups being held open, saying, would you like to come and share, clink your cup with mine, share vulnerably, openly. The cups really represent our soul. It's what's within, it's our emotional self contained in a vessel that holds all of our needs, our dreams, our wants, the experiences that allow us to emotionally connect to our life experience. And with the Nine of Wands, this is a card of burnout. This is a card of, this was a long, hard road to get here. And I think for many of you, the cycle of pain and heartbreak mixed with stress and kind of toil is come to an end. And you get to get in this boat and leave this behind. You get to leave wherever you felt you were left out in the cold at one time, or wherever you felt like you were poor in some aspect of your life, you get to leave that behind for the opportunities of the open sea, for the opportunities of what lies beyond what you've known to this point. And it all is based on this decision that was made, whether it was a decision around love or a decision in some aspect of your experience where you were made to feel very vulnerable in a connection with someone or something. All right, I'm going to pull a final card here. And we'll wrap up your reading. So what does Scorpio need to know as their final message here? But for many of you, there's healing to be had through making a decision in love, whether it is happening now for you or will be happening in the future for yourself. So we have surrendered to your intuition. I love this card. Really speaks to the moon coming in over here. It says, tune into your inner voice. Be aware of any gut feelings, flashes, knowings, or aha moments that come through to guide you. And that could be where you're trusting your intuition as to where you feel called to walk away from something, or where you feel called now with the Eight of Wands to commit to something. And it's saying if that feels like that's your calling, that's really what the Two of Swords asks us to do. When you can't make a decision, and you see this individual, she's holding two swords of equal weight and length, and looking at them, there's no way that she can say, well, this is a better sword or this is a better sword. They're equal. But she has to sit blindfolded and go within and trust her intuition as to which one is actually the one for her. And what does that sword represent? Truth. The choice that is more in alignment with her truth. And I think for many of you, you're realizing that there's something that you went through that allowed you to get more clarity as to your truth, as to the truth of the star and what you actually want to bring into your life, what you actually want to experience. And you get to trust yourself in this process moving forward. And that's beautiful. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your day, Scorpio. If you'd like to book your own personal reading where you get a chance to take a look at what your soul would most like you to know at this moment, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, I will see you all in your next Soul Illumination reading. Bye, Scorpio.